Hey internet, I am ill again, which kind of sucks. Today I'm going to be doing a video on what's in my makeup bag, but also more so things that I think are essential makeup items to have. A lot of people, are really into makeup, but they have no idea the kind of makeups that they should be buying or that they should have. And really there's no shoulds and shouldn'ts, it's whatever you want to try and whatever you want to wear. It hasn't been until recently that I've really gotten into makeup for some reason. I just love experimenting with it, and I have gone through so many different things, like trying out different things, and I think that's definitely the whole point of makeup, that you have to trial and error everything and just find what suits you, and then even when you find what suits you, you can still experiment with other things because it's just fun. I watch a lot of beauty videos on YouTube and read a lot of beauty blogs, and they're really helpful for tips on makeup and how-to tutorials and even like what makeup they love and what to buy, but most of them I find are really expensive brands, which is kind of unrealistic for their audiences. So I just wanted to make a little video of what I have in my makeup bag and what I think are essentials. They're also mostly all drugstore brands, and if it's not, then I have alternative drugstore brands. So hopefully this video is really helpful. So firstly, I think the most essential thing is obviously a foundation. You can either have a liquid foundation or a powder foundation. I use both. It's not really that much more expensive, to be honest, to use both. It's probably like maybe £12 for both of these. I love Rimmel, the brand. I've always bought Rimmel and they've never let me down. Honestly, I love them. I have been using lately the Stay Matte Long Lasting Powder Foundation and the Wake Me Up Anti-Fatigue Foundation. These are also on sale in Boots a few weeks ago, so I got 2 for £5 I think, or 2 for £10, and I think they're usually £8 each. These are like £4 each I think, or £5 each, so it's really not that expensive. These last you quite a while. These run out quite fast and you get the little ring round the edge that you don't know what to do with, and it does annoy me a lot. Alternatively, when I lived back in Australia, I used to use this L'Oreal Paris Infallible foundation. I tried to use it the other day and I looked so orange, so obviously I've lost my Australian tan, but I did see it in Boots and I just got quite a lighter colour, and hopefully that will look better. But it does make me a bit sad that I'm not tan enough now to use my old Australian foundation. Next is concealer. I've got 2 Rimmel ones again. One is the Wake Me Up foundation's like twin, and that's like quite liquidy. I used that for a while and then I needed a new one, and I saw this one, which is the Hide the Blemish concealer stick, and it's more, I don't know, they're quite different. It's more like a crayon or like a lipstick even, but concealer. So it just depends, like sometimes I mix the two, sometimes I use one or the other, sometimes I go through phases. But yeah, it's really important to have a good foundation and a good concealer. And again, you're just gonna have to trial and error them. These are my favourites. I don't think they're over £5, so that's pretty good in my opinion. Eyeliner wise, for years I have used, or maybe not years, probably like a year, I've used L'Oreal Paris Superliner Blackbuster, which is quite a thick one. It's always been really good for me, but like flicks are the bane of my life. Recently I saw this Superliner Perfect Slim, so it's the same brand, L'Oreal, and it's the same kind of part of the Superliner thing, but it's slim, and it is so much easier to flick, and even just this whole eyeliner that I've done today is from this. So you can make it thicker, you can build on it, or you can just do it thin. And yeah, I've definitely preferred this one. A lot of eyeliners are definitely overpriced. There's also the little pot ones, which I find so hard to use with a little like paintbrush almost. And the pencils always smudge on me, but I did go through a stage of using pencils. But since I've used these Superliners, I haven't been able to go back to anything. So they're definitely a favourite of mine. I think it's important to get a good eyebrow kit if you're into that. I mean, some people have perfect eyebrows and do not need it. I put it off so long, and to be honest, sometimes I think I look stupid with them filled in because my eyebrows are naturally really dark. I can't justify spending like £20 on an eyebrow pencil. When I was in Europe, I went to a Sephora, and I just desperately needed an eyebrow kit because I'd left mine at home, and whenever we went out and did our makeup, I just felt like my eyebrows like disappeared on my face. And all I do, honestly, like I have this little kit here. It's got a grey, a brown, and like a gel. I never use the gel. I use the grey mostly, and if I feel like there's a bit more that needs to be filled in, I used a tiny bit of the brown. I remember at first, when it first came out, everyone doing their eyebrows, I used like a black eyeshadow and it looked ridiculous. Or I drew it on with like eyeliner, and you just don't want them to be that dark. Eyebrows can be tough, especially when you're young and you think that you need to draw them on, but seriously, unless you have really gapey eyebrows or really blonde eyebrows, I would leave it. Another bane of my life has been contouring. And honest to God, I have not ever got this right. I still don't think I've got it right. I'm just going essentials because lately contouring has been the thing, and it makes a lot of difference. But yeah, it can be really hard to master. I definitely am nowhere near it. And I've been using just a bronzer for ages, trying to like, you know, do the thing. But recently I found this brand called Collection that do a contour kit, highlight and sculpt, and it's literally £5 for this, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury one that like people rave about is £50 or something, and I just could not justify buying a contour kit for that when I'd probably fuck it up still, you know? So I went for this and it's been really good. I don't know, I just don't think I'm a pro contourer, but this is definitely going to help me learn. And it's been really good. The highlight is so nice. It's shimmery. And yeah, I just think it's a pretty good buy. So don't think that you have to spend £50 or ridiculous money on contour kits. There's literally one in Collection for £5. So definitely have a look at that, or just have a look at, you know, the drugstore brands for ones. Eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is probably one of my favourite bits about makeup sometimes. Maybe my second favourite. I think I've obviously mentioned in last videos that I did go to Naked Urban Decay, which I don't think you should do unless you're really into eyeshadow, wear it all the time, really want a good palette that'll last you ages, and love experimenting with colours and all that. But it is beautiful, and I feel like I've shown it in every video lately, but like, look at that. It's like perfection in a box, and yeah, I just can't, I love it. But yeah, it was €50 and it was hard to justify spending that kind of money on eyeshadow. Even my boyfriend was like, what? But definitely I didn't start out with that, and I used to love eyeshadow anyway. I had a surprise Rimmel little eyeshadow palette, which had the 4 little sections. It had a brown, a kind of beige, a white, and a gold. So you can see I kind of used the gold and beigey one the most. I would do just a beige colour and then some gold in the crease or whatever. On days that I was just going to work, I would just use some of the cream, and all it did was make sure that my eyeliner didn't stick. That's how I started using eyeshadow, and then I just fell in love and I wanted to go more. So Rimmel do some really cool eyeshadows. I don't know how much they are, but again, I don't think they're more than maybe max like £7. So yeah, definitely if you want to start out with eyeshadow, grab a little palette like this of either nudes, or grab like a coloured one if you want to try coloured. But there's so many drugstore brands that do different variations. You just got to try it. I definitely recommend the Rimmel one that lasted me literally a year, and it's tiny. So if you want to invest in an eyeshadow, definitely go that. Mascaras, I definitely go through like a bazillion different mascaras every year just to try them out. I still don't think I have that many to rave about. I think mascaras can be very hit and miss, and they always advertise things that they don't actually do, like volume increasing or like super lash, or you know, stuff like that. Before I got conjunctivitis, I used the Lash Accelerator Endless, and that was quite good, but it made my eyelashes really, like, it felt like it was waterproof mascara. It was really hard to get off. It made them quite clumpy in a way. I also use this Maybelline Great Lash, which I think has been around for ages, and it's just quite a good one to just like declump your lashes. I always use 2 mascaras really, unless I'm just doing it half-assed or have conjunctivitis. So I don't know, mascara for me is definitely such a hit and miss thing. I've tried so many and some of them have been so shit and some of them have been amazing. So you just really have to try them all out and see what you like best and what does the best thing for your eyelashes. And lastly, my absolute favorite part of makeup, lipstick. My auntie bought me a MAC lipstick, which I mentioned in one of my last videos, and that has been amazing. But I wouldn't say go out and buy a MAC lipstick. I definitely say there are some drugstore cheap alternatives. I think it's good if you like wearing lipstick, obviously try one colour first, and then if you love wearing it, feel free to experiment with other colours. Again, Rimmel do amazing lipsticks. I've got the Kate Moss 107, which is what I'm wearing now. It's like a dark berry. I've got various shades of red. Experimenting with lipstick can be so fun. It's definitely my favourite part of makeup, and I would buy all the lipstick shades in the world if I could. Rimmel do really good ones. Otherwise, what's this one? No, they're all Rimmel. Oh, I have... No, yeah, this is Rimmel too. Definitely, I would recommend Rimmel. Rimmel's my jam. I reckon you can get all your things from Rimmel. Moving on to, I'm gonna go brushes and stuff now, like little extras that help. Brush wise, foundation, obviously the sponges have been in lately. It was in my favorites video, and they are. I really think that you can't beat it. I used to have like a slanted brush that I would do it with my foundation with, and it just wasn't the same. Like this one, it just gets you and it gets it on. So definitely invest in a sponge. This is an old mascara brush which I just washed, and I use it as an eyebrow brush, and it works so well because obviously it's meant to be for your eyelashes. Just gets them down. I did have an eyebrow brush that I actually bought and it broke and fell down the sink, so I improvised, and this has been really good. This is what I use to apply my eyebrows. It's a little double-sided mini brush and then a slanted brush. The slanted brush I put my eyebrows on with and kind of just like make little hairs and kind of like go along the line there. The other little brush I sometimes use for eyeshadow, like in the crease of my eye or underneath. It's because it's quite a small one, so it's really good. So they're really good to have. I've got a really good eyeshadow brush in my Naked palette. Otherwise, I've got all these Nude brushes, which is what I mainly use. And I got a pack which had an eyeshadow brush, which I use quite often to just like blend with after my Naked eyeshadow brush. I've got like a blusher brush, which I also use for contouring and yeah, blush. And then I've got a huge brush which I use for all my blending of foundation. Definitely cotton buds. They're literally like 50p, or I got these for 50p and there's like 200. And it's just when you fuck up a flick, fuck up an eyebrow, fuck up your anything, you just use one of these and it's done. Tweezers are definitely must-haves. You can always just like pluck a few hairs, although I do not condone over plucking of the eyebrows because it'll mess up your life. And lastly, I'm just going to take you through some optionals. Nail polish is something that it's up to you. Some people don't even have nails. At the moment, I do not have nails. At work they always break and it really upsets me. But before that I loved painting my nails. I love nail polish. Otherwise, fake nails, I've heard a lot of good things about the Elegant Touch nails that you can get in Boots and stuff, but again they're quite pricey, whereas from Rimmel you can get like £4, £5 nail polishes which are quite good. Some people would say that blush is an essential. I don't use it every day, and I don't know, it broke recently, it crumbled into a million pieces. And I was looking at other blushes and I just couldn't justify the prices. I can't understand the different colours, and like obviously you can't really test a blush on you. And it just, I just couldn't be bothered to get a new one. And sometimes I even just like dip this brush, kind of like squeeze it, like make it thin, dip it in my Naked eyeshadows and use that as a bit of blush. Lip liner. Again, I don't think that's essential. I haven't used lip liner like ever. I'm just too lazy for lip liners and like that would take way too long. And they probably do look better, but I just haven't invested my time into lip liners. So I think that's definitely an optional. And then I've also got like a tiny little perfume which I got on my Euro trip thing, and I just kind of keep in there for when I'm away and it's in there and I can just like stick it on instead of carrying around this big bottle. Also, I'd say eyelash curlers. I used to use these all the time. I think if you're starting out, these are really good to use because you can just curl your eyelashes. They go really curly. Then you just put some mascara on, and it definitely was just like a basic makeup look, which is like really nice and easy. So yeah, hopefully I've covered everything. I really hope that it was helpful to someone. I totally wish that I had a video like this when I was younger because I had no idea about makeup. And you do watch all these videos with all these expensive brands and you think that you have to buy them, but you really don't. There's so many alternatives and you just need to know what you need. So hopefully this video has given you the essentials, the extras and the optionals. So, you know, like I said, just experiment, have fun over everything, and yeah, just enjoy yourself. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and leave me a comment on what kind of makeups are your favourites, if any of the things I mentioned were helpful, and just any questions you have. Thanks as always for watching. Bye!